And so yeah, that's why I'm just like chilling right now, you know.
No, it makes sense. I get that. I usually couldn't catch them live anyways because that's normally when I'm at the gym now. So
Yeah.
it's always fun catching the replays. It's how I was meal prepping.
Yeah, I think I'll start him back next week.
Mm.
I've just been training legs a little bit later too. Giving myself a little more time to sleep on Saturday because I mean I'm up at 4:30 every day, so
Hey, I have to beat for once. I'm up at 4
I
a.m. every
know
day.
I noticed because I see you in the forum answering questions
Uh,
before, you know, I look at the timestamp, I'm like, damn, this dude's up at the same time as me.
I usually wake up, uh, do all my peptides, take a big shit.
Yep.
Then just when I'm doing my cardio in the morning, I'm just answering questions and browsing because I used to have like a big TV in front of me that I would watch Netflix during my cardio. But now just with the way the room is set up, I can't see it very well because also the bigger TV is downstairs where my bike isn't in front of it anymore.
Yeah.
So I'm just
I can't focus on anything when I do cardio, dude. Like
I don't know how it
I can't
sorry, I didn't mean to cut
scroll
you off.
Instagram, like half the time I can't even listen to music. It's like I don't know why. I'm just like um sometimes not, it sounds awful, but sometimes I'll do cardio just in the dark now. Just
I
like
like doing that usually.
or just like all that's on is my red light, you know, and I just feel like I'm in a dungeon and like I just make cardio worse than it already is, you know.
Uh, I mean, honestly, I kind of like doing it in the dark because that way I don't fully wake up, so I don't realize how much it sucks.
Yeah, true. Yeah, yeah, it's a good point.
Uh, but I mean, I don't know how women. I see them like posting, like they're on the stairmaster reading a book. Like
Dude.
I, number one, I can't focus on the text while I'm reading it. Number two, I can't have one hand on a book, one hand on a phone, and doing stairs at the same time because I
Yeah.
will fall off that machine.
I start to get motion sickness even if I try like scrolling Instagram while I'm on the stairs, there's no fucking way, dude. I last about 2 minutes and then I can listen to music while I'm on the stairs because I don't have one at home, but I just have an elliptical at home. But like, I don't know why my brain just like cannot stay focused and it feels overstimulating, you know, and it's just too much. So a lot of the times I'll just do it with my headphones on and nothing's playing, you know, just get after it, I guess.
Yep.
How y'all doing? Talking about cardio.
Yeah, good old cardio. What's up with you?
Uh, Nothing much, but a lot at the same time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I do.
Is your
Uh,
shoulder doing any better?
yeah, it's a little better, but it's not 100% like still any abduction movement. It's just pain. And I'm I've run the test on myself and I'm convinced it's most likely a slap tear, very small
Mhm.
one. So it's a labrum. So you can't really do anything with BPC for that. That's just no blood flow to the labrum. So Um, just doing PT exercises and working out legs a bunch, man. So worked out legs yesterday and today because I worked out with my wife today. But dude, it's going back to cardio, man. I've been doing cardio outside in the morning. So I'm at like 4:30 a.m., like walking the neighborhood.
Yeah.
And there's this bunny. It's there every day. And I'm pretty sure it's the same one because it's like at the same house in the same corner. I'm like, there must be its home somewhere. So like that's there. I saw a raccoon the other day going from trash can to trash can, and I was like trying to catch up with it. And then there's like a possum that was like running along the fence with me, and I'm just like, man, there's so much freaking crap out here, and like there's so many deer and stuff where I live, and it's like in a neighborhood. So I'm like, I don't know, it's just crazy. You see all that stuff going on whenever it's all super dark and kind of like
Yep.
like creepy in a way.
Yep.
It's kind of cool though, you know what I mean? Just to be away
I
from
love it.
everything and just yeah, I love morning walks where you're like the only one out there with just the animals, you know what I
Yep.
mean?
Yeah, I
I
like
feel
being
like
on the road or just doing anything without people being
Y-
around. It's like
Yeah.
HEB opens up at 6 a.m. and I'm like, since I'm up at like 3:34, so I'm like, I'll just go to HEB and it's like 6 a.m. and freaking everyone knows me there. So
Yep. Yep.
uh,
yeah.
I feel like just doing cardio outside, it's so underrated. See, I'm like,
So
oh,
much
I'm
better.
on my walking pad, getting my steps in for the day. It's a beautiful day outside. Go out there. If it's
It's
110 degrees, maybe I wouldn't want to be out there for an hour straight. But
it's so
I,
much better. And the terrain actually changes like a walking pad.
Yeah.
Like
mhm,
I think there's more benefit to actually walking outside where like the ground feel is changing and terrain, you know, if you got little hills and stuff. I just think it's more beneficial in my opinion.
mhm,
I don't think 10,000 steps on a walking pad is the same as 10,000 steps outside. I think they're both good. I think they're both beneficial, but I don't think it's one for one, you know?
mhm,
No, I mean, because you got to think about physics too. So you're taking a step down and also propulsion forward versus the
Hmm.
walking pads. You're just lifting your feet up technically. So
Yeah,
there's a
you're
lot more
a lot more
effort.
hamstring even because
Yeah.
the knee flexion and you're almost pulling the side. When I do steps, I think about firing the glute like every time I step. And I'm curious if that makes me walk weird. So I'd be curious if people are looking at me like, what the fuck? Um, But yeah, I actively think about like the inside of my heel and like stepping kind of heavy and sinking to the ground each step I take, and just making each step like kind of beneficial. And then when I do step, I think about pulling the sidewalk away from me. Um,
Yeah.
so I don't think you can really do that on a walking pad as well, right? Because it's got a motor that's kind of moving you. So
Yeah.
unless you leave it
Yeah.
off, you know.
I mean, they do have the ones that are like self-propulsion, the like curved
Yes.
ones, which I love, but
Those are
like
cool.
it's always broken. There's always like a
Yeah.
slat that like it hits, it's like clank, 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 and I'm like, okay, I'm not using that.
Yeah, and then you're the guy in the gym using the noisy machine, you know?
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
felt really bad. Even just yesterday, I was doing just a push day, but I wheeled a bench over. It's used as a foot rest for a shoulder press.
Yeah.
And it was the squeakiest thing you have ever heard in a gym.
Dude, I was using an ab machine yesterday and the ab machine, I could hear it over my headphones and like the music was not loud in the gym. I'm like, son of a bitch, dude.
Uh,
yeah. I like those. Yeah, and some people they just don't care, and like it just it gets louder as the speed goes up on the treadmills or whatever for sure,
Yeah.
and they
Well,
don't care.
it's funny. Skip carries like a spray silicone in his gym bag because his OCD is crazy. So like if he's using like a cable machine like bilateral and one is dragging more than the other, he'll spray it so it slides smoother. So he's
Yeah.
always carrying a silicone can with him and like oiling machines for the gym.
So they have instead of cans, I have a pen. So it's almost
Oh, that's
like
cool.
a yeah, so like my wife got it for me for Christmas and I was like, "Oh, this is
Yeah.
like really good." So then you can just rub up and down it so it doesn't spray everywhere. Same
No
thing like on the
shit.
leg press because like you have leg presses where they never clean the inside of those brackets.
Yes.
So there's the
Yes.
dust and you can feel it kind of sticking and then because
Drags.
dude, there's this one gym I was going to, and I was like, it freaking sticks whenever I hit this point. And they're like, well, no one else is complaining. I'm like, how many plates are they putting on there? And it's like, you have,
Right.
once you hit a certain amount of plates, then it starts getting like really sticky. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I like it ended up like kind of messing me up in my hips a little bit, just trying to get out from that being stuck. But yeah, because I was like, when's the last time you guys cleaned this? And they're like, I don't know. How do you clean it? Like, take
Yeah,
it apart.
exactly. Yeah. Yeah, they don't a lot of gyms don't maintain their stuff very well, you know, and if it's a busy gym, I mean, you have so many people using that shit, like you have to keep up with it.
Yeah. I mean, even if you got like those obscure pieces too, it's like you're trying to figure out how to do it on your own. Like so many of those gym
Yes.
owners do. And I appreciate that because I'm like, there's the dude that has what was it, the butt blaster, the Body's Masters butt blaster or something, the original. And
Oh yeah.
yeah, I'm like, how the frick do you like fix that? He's like, just try. I'm like, okay. Yeah. Um, hey, I was curious, does this ever happen to you guys? I'm sure it does. I get pretty annoyed whenever people like they'll copy the exercises that I'm doing,
Mm.
but they add more weight than me whenever I'm intentionally doing something light. So, like for example, yesterday so I ended up doing for my leg day high volume. I did two German volume training movements. So I did it on the hack and on the leg press. But
Oh
the hack,
God.
I just put a plate on.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, all right, 5 sets of 20. Here we go. And like super slow and like squeezing every muscle. And I'm like, okay, cool. Exhausted, right? And then I got off that, went to the leg press and did like 3 plates on each side and same idea. But this other kid behind me, he was like, he went on the hack and then he like loads it up to I think just 2.25, maybe smaller kid. And he's like struggling and like almost like he was trying to mimic what I was doing because I did one of the sets like Tom Platz
Yeah,
and
yeah,
he was like pushing his knees with his hands and I'm just like and then I saw him go to the leg press and he's kind of doing the same thing I was doing and
yeah.
it's just I find it so weird and I don't know, it's like you think that if someone looks better than you would probably try to mimic the pattern and like even the weights, like if
Yes.
relative to you
Yep.
versus just trying to show that I can do it better than you, which it didn't happen.
I've had it happen before for sure. Um, and yeah, sometimes it annoys me. Other times it kind of flatters me. But only if the people ask. Because there's a lady that trains at our gym. She's super cool. And she's like, "Hey, I saw you doing this the other day. Can you show me what you're doing?" And I'm like, "Cool." Like, yeah, you know what I mean? So that was different. She wasn't
Yeah.
trying to like one up me or be competitive with me. She's like, "Hey, that looks really fucking cool. Let me try that." And she's like, "How are you, how are you gripping this?" It was like a knuckle facing tricep push down, right? Like a John Meadows style. So two D handles, knuckles face each other, and you kind of push down and away. Um, she just asked what I was doing there, and I did it in like a tricep. I did like three different tricep movements back to back. So I showed her that, but um, yeah, it's only flattering if they come ask for your help and like, hey, like that looked intense. Like, can you show me how to do that? Like that shit's cool.
Yeah.
But if you can tell someone's just trying to like be competitive with you in the gym, it's like stop it. You don't even. It's hard when you watch someone train because like a lot of the times, the loads that I use for some machines are not impressive at all. But my intention behind it, if you could crawl into my brain and see, what I'm thinking about and what I'm feeling and how intense it truly is and how painful it fucking is, um, it would bury you. But from the outside looking in, it's like, why does that guy only have one, two plates on that machine when I put five on it? It's like, we're probably not doing it the same way.
Yeah.
And one of us is probably using the intended muscle, and one of us is probably just like for a back movement, for example. One of us is using our arms, and one of us is actually using our back, right? Um, so that's when I guess it's like an ego thing for me because like I've been very, very strong. I'm still quite strong, but like I don't use maximum loads on everything. So like from the outside looking in, the weights I use probably aren't impressive, but like I said, if the intention's there and you're really honing in and keeping that muscle active the entire time, um, it's a far different ball game. It's really not even the same movement anymore?
Yeah. I mean, and machines and setups, I mean, from brand to brand, they are so different. And we're like this hack that I was doing the 1 plates, doing 100 reps. Usually I do like 4 to 5 plates, and
Yeah.
then there's another one that I do like 7 plates on. But I'm just like same thing like with the adducted and abducted and adduct machine.
Yeah.
There's like the ones where you like sit up and it's like 90 degree, so you're
Yes.
using a lot of hip so and I swear it's made for like short people. So like I scoot all the way forward to try to mimic the one that where you lay down.
Yeah.
And dude, that whenever I was doing that at this gym, it hits so different to where I'm like usually like in the 200s doing the machine, I'm like I can feel
130,
it at
100. Yeah.
yeah, so I started, I was like, let me just lower it a bit. And then I kept lowering it and I kept lowering
Yep.
it. And I'm like, I
Yep.
still feel it. And so I was like, and I got down to like I think 70 pounds, and I was like doing it super slow, and I can like still feel it. And I'm just like, dude, it's just it's like even more intense.
Yeah.
It is crazy. It's just like if you can, it's like what every young kid wants right now. It's that mind muscle connection, and
Yeah.
like if you know, luckily like I'm thin enough, like lean enough to like look like an anatomy chart. So like when my wife looks at me, she's like, okay, I can see what you're doing, like what movement
Yes.
and
Yeah.
what muscles are being pulled. And so same idea like watching Nick Walker with some of his movements. I'm like when he does his RDLs, I'm like, dude, you can just see what muscle in the hamstring he's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
contracting. It's intense and his weights aren't that heavy comparative.
I think the RDL is a great example because I've deadlifted over 700 pounds and I can RDL a whole shit ton of weight. But if I'm doing it with the intention of being, you know, focused on just the hamstring and the glute drive, like um I mean it's a whole nother thing. Once you start getting your knee flexion and quads involved, like man, I can RDL all sorts of shit, but it's not as effective. Um, and it's good to have some heavy shit in your hands sometimes. And, sometimes you just got to recalibrate the movement. And then sometimes you got to push the movement once things are dialed in. But um, during that recalibration period, you do have to lower the load sometimes and get everything firing again, before you can start progressively overloading.
Yeah. I mean, I started feeling everything in my knees started hurting, which is like very unheard of since I've been like just doing this more leg training and plyometrics and stuff. And so I'm like, let me just go through a phase of really low weight,
Yes.
crazy high volume. Let me just make it fun. Like let me fry my CNS in a way.
Yep.
Like I just because I'm like thinking back, I'm like, when was the last time I've done like German volume training and or
Right.
like crazy eights or 777s, like all
Yeah,
those
that's
crazy things that we used to do. That's so much fun.
That's a lot of the time where I'll incorporate occlusion stuff.
Oh
Like
yeah.
nothing recalibrates your mind to muscle better than occlusion. Like if you can't feel a muscle when it's occluded, then like, man, you'll never feel that muscle. Um, but like a lot of the times, my coach Danny, right now, she has me doing occluded leg extensions supersetted with walking lunges before we even do hack squats. And her goal there is to get the quads firing and get the intention and the mind, the proprioception on the quads. So then when I move to hack squats, all I feel is my damn quads.
And, and you
Um,
can do lower weight, save your joints.
exactly. Yeah, you don't have to load it up because the quads are just full of blood already.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not I don't know, I'm at the period of my life where I'm just like like I've been there, I've done the heavy weight and stuff, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't I don't it's like I've done over 500 pounds on my back with squats, and I'm like, I don't miss that really in a way.
No. No.
Like
I
I've
miss I
yeah.
miss the I miss the feeling sometimes of just like because I used to get like just in my mind just real dark, and I kind of miss that sometimes where you just go to that really dark place and you do one big heavy single, um and the feeling of being in the bottom of a squat with just all that weight and you just fight it to death. I miss that feeling sometimes. I still get pretty tuned up for like my top sets, but they're for sets of 8 to 12 or sometimes 15 if it's a Widowmaker, 20, or sometimes I do sets for time. So set a timer for 1 minute straight and you just fucking crank on that thing. You still get that feeling just without all the joint load and the spinal load, right? Um,
Yeah.
but the part of me misses those big max effort days where you're just thinking about that weight like crushing you, or a big heavy deadlift was always so gratifying, just standing up with something brutally heavy. I mean, I just think there's something very powerful about it, specifically the squat and deadlift. Bench press is whatever, but like when you put a heavy ass weight on your back that could just crush you, um, there's something very powerful about that. And same thing with the deadlift, just ripping something off the floor that doesn't want to move and you stand up with it. I mean, it's very gratifying for sure, you know?
Yeah, that feeling of fear.
Yeah, yeah. It's like
Yeah,
I either get this or my back breaks, but I'm not gonna stop fucking pulling, until it
yeah,
moves. Um,
yeah. I think that the last thing I've done, because I liked dynamic days versus max effort,
same.
but I remember I was doing, what did he make me do? I think it was a 3 inch um platform and like deficit deadlifts on three
Yeah,
inches, and
yeah.
it's like five something. And that was the last thing I pulled heavy. And it was like sets of eight. And I was like,
Yes, that's
and
cool.
on the last one, I like kind of went down slower and I felt like a pop. And I'm like, "Ah," I'm like my back. And it's just ever since then, I look at deadlifts now and I'm like, I want to, but I can't. I
I
just that
don't
I feel the pain.
I don't do like conventional deadlifts anymore. I still do like belt squat RDLs because I do believe in having some heavy shit in my hands. I think it really helps the thickness in my back and just dense overall density. Um, but so that's the one movement I do keep in for a hinge, but I don't do deadlifts from the floor anymore. Partly is because I'm just built to deadlift. So it doesn't give me the hypertrophy response that it would for other people. Just because my arms are so fucking long and my legs are big and strong. So man, like deadlifting always came pretty natural for me. It's not something that it's something that just continued to progress. Like my bench press, I had to fight, tooth and nail to add 5, 10 pounds to my bench press, but deadlifting, like, luckily it just came more natural because of my leverages.
Yeah. For your bench press, because I have long arms like you. I found it easier to go as wide as I can
Yeah.
versus the more like some people they'll tuck their elbows back as they come as the bar goes toward their chest so they can just kind of like rubber band it like just because you're
Yeah.
you're pulling your back. Or if I did that, it's going so far like that distance. It's like all tricep now for me. So I'm
Yeah.
like
So
there's no
we
chest involved.
I would do a lot of close grip stuff. I would do a lot of board work. And I mean, my best bench press was 435, so not like crazy impressive, but I was always the last guy. Like, for example, in high school, I was the last guy to bench 135. Like, all my friends were already 135, 185 plus in high school. And man, I still have logbooks. I looked back at them the other day and like when I was doing 531, like some of my working sets were like 95 pounds, and it's like, holy shit. So yeah, bench press was because I was such a good deadlifter, with the long arms and everything like that, like bench press was always way more challenging. So 435 bench press for me was like quite a feat of strength because it took me so long to even get 135 on the bar.
Yeah. Um, hey, did you have any questions?
I did have a couple of some fun ones and some more serious bodybuilding ones, and of course, plenty of drug ones that everyone likes to ask. But
Yeah.
before we do, did you guys kind of see any of the Atlanta Pro yet today?
I haven't
Oh
seen
no.
anything
Is
yet.
that going on?
Yeah.
Yeah. Prejudging wrapped up, I believe. It looks like James and Regan for first.
Let
Did
me get
Joe
on
do it?
Instagram.
Yeah, he is not looking good.
No, that sucks, man.
Who's posting it?
I saw just a local guy here. He was posting on his stories. I'm sure AJ's covering it. Let me
Yeah.
see. Probably be on the stage.
I
But
got beyond the stage. I got you.
That's good for Regan though, because I mean everyone counted him out a little bit, I think.
Well,
Mm.
wasn't he saying that he had the problem with the tan, that his skin would like react and get like a histamine response?
Yeah,
His
yeah,
tan looked good here.
I heard that about his.
Oh, Patrick Moore up there, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Man,
his waist was tiny.
Patrick's his shoulders are so wide. Like his clavicle, like he's
wow.
so incredibly wide, dude.
Man, Regan's body is it just flows. It's put together so well. Man,
He's very big and full all the time. I've never seen him like really, really in shape though, but he looks pretty good here.
he's got a nice looking head down here. Who's what judging
Yeah.
that?
Sit your ass down, bro. What the fuck?
Looks like
Um,
AJ's posting a bit better angles, but from what I could see at least, uh, James is definitely the most conditioned,
Yeah, I
but Regan's
figured.
back is just carrying him there.
Oh,
holy
that's
crap.
crazy, dude.
Y-
And James
You
has
know,
never been in shape like this, really, you know. He always
Mm.
but
comes
it,
in a bit
dude,
soft.
it's crazy though, because how many shows he's done. He's gotten better, and this is coming from China all the way back to the US.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, he's doing really good.
shows.
Joe's front shots in the lineup were not looking great.
Yeah,
Maybe
he's harder than he was at Tampa though.
it is what I say
Mm.
is less watery.
Yeah, his legs look better. Man,
They
I think he really just needs more time. I think he just needs more maturity so that those so he can the muscle can will just look harder.
wow.
Yeah, Patrick's he always has a cool shape.
Wow.
I am not the biggest Patrick fan in general, but
No.
I think this is one of his best looks for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it depends on the lineup he's in, you know.
And isn't it like his sixth or seventh show this year?
Probably. He competes a lot. I mean,
Charles
Charles,
is peeled as
he's
always.
still peeled. Yeah.
To me, it's looking like probably, at least if I was judging it, I would have James, Regan, Charles, Joe, Patrick. Potentially Patrick moving up, but Joe, I don't think is in the top three.
Joe's waist is in this lineup, Joe's waist is just not helping him out.
Mm.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
his
he's
midsection.
yeah. Yeah, like I said, I mean, he's still so young to the sport that like um
Oh, Lewis
Oh,
Breed.
Lewis Breed was
Oh, freaking
nutty.
hard as nails.
he
I
always
just like this
yeah.
guy. It's so peeled.
He is the Caucasian dry.
Yeah.
Oh man.
The
Even his
waist
fat
isn't
is
great in the side shots, but I mean
e-
that's always been his
yeah.
issue.
Even if he had fat on him, his fat would be peeled. Like his little fat cells would just be freaking shredded.
Mm.
Man. Yeah. That dude's so gnarly, man. Uh,
That's nutty. That's completely nutty, dude.
When I think British bodybuilding, that is the look that I think of.
Yeah, no, that's so incredibly true.
yeah.
Mm.
Um,
I feel like
and
Charles's interview this past week just kind of took the internet by storm.
yeah.
Yeah, I only saw
And
Who is
parts
this
of it.
guy?
just
He's
as
got tiny
someone
feet.
who has lifted in the same gym as Charles, that's very on
Crap.
brand for him.
Dude, this dude has a
Just,
12-year-old's waist.
I was about to say, how small is that
Holy,
dude's waist,
that's
man?
insane, dude.
Whoa.
Yeah, people can say whatever they want about men's
Ooh.
physique. That is insane.
He has thicker waist. Not
Mhm.
that, not thick, but I'm just thicker
Well,
than the other
compared to
guys.
that asshole,
Yeah.
you know what
It's
I
like,
mean?
freak. Dude, their midsection, man. Freak.
Yeah, it's so impressive, you know.
Every time
Like
you
they
look at these guys, I'm like, I should do abs.
Yeah, no shit, right?
Like I look at my food, and I'm like, I can eat less.
Yeah.
Man. They are getting, they have a weight cap on them, right?
No.
yes.
Do they? Oh yeah, they
Yeah,
have to.
it's
They
new.
have to. Yeah.
Can't read Spanish. Um,
Brazilians always just edit the crap out of their pictures so it's better than they really do.
Oh, do they?
That's gonna get all the Brazilians to comment on your post, Andrew. Now that I said that, but I feel just so many of them just edit the crap out of their pictures, and
Hmm.
then they get so much hype leading into a show, and then so few actually deliver.
Yeah, but that happens with like a lot of guys, just hype leading into a show. You know what I mean?
That's
Like
true.
it drives me crazy. They're like,
Yeah,
yeah,
I mean, we
Joe's gonna win the Olympia. I'm like, let's see fucking how he does at Tampa first. You know what I mean? Oh
Mhm.
no, he's coming for the Olympia title. I'm like, you guys are fucking high, dude. You know, like I know he posted some badass shots on Instagram, but like calm down.
oh yeah, this is a better view. This is AJ's.
That
Oh yeah.
the James's midsection drives me crazy. I don't know what it is.
It's the thin abs,
It's just a
but
thin ab wall.
and then this little thing down here. This little it's like
It looks like he's not in shape, but he's absolutely peeled. You know what I mean? And I think someone said the lighting just does not do him any favors, no matter what stage he's on. Um, Someone was saying that the other day, where like they're like in person, he was fucking insane.
has he
But the,
tried other tans or does he always just stick with one brand?
I don't know. I don't know what he does for tanning.
Because I mean that could
Breathing through the
change.
midsection there is not great.
No, yeah. Who coaches Regan now? Is it still Milos or?
Dom,
I don't think
I think.
so.
Oh yeah, you're
Super
right.
slice.
Yeah,
Oh, it's Dom. Okay.
yeah,
Yeah. Which is good. I mean, in my opinion, I think Dom or AJ Sims, I think that they would do well with Regan if he would follow 100%, which I think Regan is actually following
yeah.
his
AJ
coach.
won't work with pros anymore though.
He, his protocols are insane. Like, they're like, I
You,
would definitely do that.
yeah, I some of them are myths. I've seen a lot of them, because I mentored with him. Some of them are
But
made up.
I guess the
Um,
old ones, I guess, because
yeah.
yeah, like his diet, not the drug use, but his
Oh no,
diet.
the diet is, man,
I
AJ
like
is
it.
he does magic tricks, dude. Like I swear, if I was ever gonna post a wizard emoji, it would only be for AJ. I mean, the dude truly knows the art of how to bring someone in shape. Um, and he factors in everything. It's like guys just think it's like high diazide use, and it's like no, like
No,
AJ and I took like an eighth of a diazide from my last show, and I had shredded glutes. So you tell me, you guys want to
yeah,
tell me what he's doing? It's like I fucking worked with him. You know what I mean? So I always find that funny. And like it was just like everything mattered. It wasn't, and of course everyone zooms in on the drugs, and it's like, man, we did so much other stuff that was completely outside of all that. You know what I mean? Um,
yeah, yeah,
and
and
yeah.
that's what I meant. I would,
Oh, I know
I'm
what you
not,
mean. Yeah.
yeah, because like I'm more, yeah, everyone's drug protocols, they're all kind of, we all learn from each other. But
They're
the
all the same,
dieting,
dude. They're all the
yeah,
same.
the dieting is where I'm like, okay, the food choices, the selections, how he does that, I'm like, it is definitely fat free, some of them. And it's just one of those that like I really love, but I'm assuming now I haven't seen his new stuff, but I'm pretty sure he's more in the gut protocol now because going too low of fat for too long really just disrupts the GI tract. Um,
We kept a decent amount of fat in, during my prep. Obviously, you know, for 4 or 5 weeks out, it starts to get a bit lower. But
yeah,
I mean, we almost all the way up to the show, we had, you know, at least a little bit of olive oil in each meal, just for bile flow and
yeah,
stimulating bowel and things like that. Um, and the types of fats obviously matter. You know, we're not using fucking peanut butter and stuff like that. You know, um, we it was mostly olive oils. We'd use some walnut butter occasionally, a little bit of macadamia nut butter occasionally, macadamia nut oil. Here and there, we'd use avocado. Um, it was a good blend of non-inflammatory fats. Um, but yeah, it was like you said, just everything was very thought out.
Yeah, because I remember doing, I think I did like 5 days in a row with Matt Porter to where I had zero added fat. And it
Yeah,
was like tilapia and rice. Like there's no fat. And like I remember just being constipated and I'm like, dude, I need something. And then oh, what did he give? Oh, he like tripled my dose of his cortisol.
yeah,
And then he gave me some fat. And then I unloaded like those 5 days worth of food in my stomach
yeah,
because of the bile movement. And I was like,
Mhm.
that was just way too long, man.
yeah, yeah. Porter was pretty aggressive with, and then his non-training days were just absolutely zero carb, you know. Um,
Yeah.
and I mean, I guess he, I don't know. I keep carbs pretty low on non-training too, but um, yeah, man, AJ's stuff was really great for sure.
I feel like he gets kind of a bad rap just because he posts some of the more obscure things online. Like the recent one I've seen people make fun of him for is that shungite water being a game changer,
Yeah,
which
I
like
don't
these really
know,
like obscure tiny things
but
that
What is
make
it?
you gotta remember who AJ's targeting
mm,
nowadays. He's targeting entrepreneurs who have money, who have time. They run their own businesses. They work from home. They have opportunity to make meals that contain a lot of ingredients. They don't have money issues, so peptide protocols are going to be more extensive. He's only working with the highest level of human, not just athlete. So he like the teenagers that go to him and they can't follow the plan because they can't afford it, and that's not who he wants to work with. He wants to work with high level individuals who are business owners, family men, things like that. So he's just more interested in helping people that are like him and optimizing their brain and just being like overall just workaholics that get shit done, don't make excuses. So yeah, he does post things that are more out of the box and off he goes off the unbeaten path, and he does have his own ways of doing things. Um, and man, a lot of the stuff works. A lot of it works. And I don't think like just basic young bodybuilders need that stuff. But if you're trying to be a high level individual in general, and maybe bodybuilding is not the only thing that is in your life. I mean, he's a biohacker like, he is the biohacker. So that's his goal now is just to literally biohack the body to make it as optimized as possible. I don't think bodybuilders necessarily need that. Um, but there was a little bit of that stuff worked into my plan and it worked very well. It is hard for me to follow it, um, just because of my schedule is crazy. So, timings of supplements and peptides and things like that, a lot of it was hard for me to adhere to. And I'm pretty robotic. You know that about me, Joe.
mm,
And a lot of it just became very overwhelming for me to follow because it's like, well, it's 11 o'clock. I need to take this supplement, and this supplement. But, um, I have a warehouse to manage. I got clients checking in, and I have a 2-year old. So it's like, I just probably burnt myself out because I'm so neurotic. And, um, I could have just been better with and AJ and I still talk, frequently. Um, but I could have been better with communicating like, dude, I cannot do all this shit. You know what I mean? I cannot eat carrot salads in between meal 3 and 4 when I got this shit to do. And then but man, like his stuff works. I don't care what
mm.
anyone says because the people that talk shit about it have never done it. And the people that talk shit about it could not do it. I know that for a fact. They could not handle his protocols. And I worked with him for 2 years. And that's why people don't last with AJ Sims because they can't hang. They can't hang with the protocols because they are extensive. And the people that want a challenge and, you know, they want to do hard shit. I mean, AJ's the guy for that. He will challenge you. He will make you grow as a person. Man, I'm incredibly grateful for all the shit I learned from AJ. Like, just I've learned I've learned 10 years of shit from AJ in two. Literally, I can have a client come to me with an issue, and I'll be like, oh shit, I remember AJ talking about this. And I'll go back and look through my notes because I took notes on everything that guy said. I have a document, it's like 200 pages long. It's literally in my phone called AJ Sim Notes. And it's like anything the guy said, I would write it down. And I still have all of our WhatsApp messages, so I'll reference those. Like if I'm ever in a pickle, and like, man, literally 10 years of knowledge in 2 years from him. So, but yeah,
I feel like
go ahead,
there are some people out there who just operate on an entirely different level of understanding,
dude.
both with like the health protocols, the peptides, training, just everything.
Yes,
And sometimes they just get shit on online for being on that level because other people can't keep up
they just can't do it. They
with it.
can't do it. They cannot adhere to most people can't even follow their standard chicken and rice diet and do their fucking cardio and do their steps.
Yeah.
That is basic ass shit. That's 101 fitness. AJ Sims is 15 layers ahead of that. And then you have guys in the middle, like Austin Stout, Dom Cardone, the Joseph Percher. These are all great coaches. Um, they are somewhere in the middle of basic meathead bodybuilding shit, right? And very extensive protocols. There's a lot of coaches that fall right in the middle. Most people are going to be able to adhere to those plans. But when you get to the extreme of AJ, AJ's like that. I know that Justin Mahali guy is like that. Um, most people can't hang with those protocols. Dom Kuzo, I would say, is on the higher end of biohacking. They're all incredibly intelligent people, you know?
Yeah. I mean, that's the reason why I really don't like working with bodybuilders or like competitors. It's just it's not it's not really the adherence thing. But I've been like shafted sometimes where I don't get paid. And so I'm like, okay, I'm not doing this. And then or they can't afford certain things, and I see that they're going blowing money doing other things, and I'm like, that could have been
Yeah.
put on this, or you just can't freaking you can't stop yourself from going out with your friends doing this one thing. And I'm just like, I would rather work with people who have careers, who have families, and who have the problems that I had, and then I can like help them through that. But
That's
yeah,
what,
having more income like definitely helps because I'm like, okay,
yes.
now I can see. Plus, you have the discipline, and then I'm like, all right, and you're willing to try.
So that's why AJ's, and I don't want to speak for him, but he's a good friend of mine, so I feel like I can. That's why his target crowd is individuals who are well established in a career. They don't have money issues. If he says, I need you to get your cardiac scan done next week, they're like, fuck it, done, no problem. If I need you to get your liver ultrasound done, they will get it done next week. If he wants you to get a CT scan, a calcium scan, and he asks for these things, he will ask for them. Blood work, then you need to get those things done. And if you say I can't afford it, he's not going to shit on you, but he'll be like, "Man, I mean, it'd be much better if you could." So I
Yeah,
I think that's why he's starting to get away from the competitive bodybuilders. And the other reason is they all burn him. He will put them on stage in their best condition ever. They will likely win the show, they'll win the overall, they'll win a pro card, and they'll leave him anyways. And he's kind
yeah,
of like, man, that hurts. He takes it because, dude, like if you work with AJ Sims, you feel like you're his only client. I don't know how he does it. I have no fucking idea. But you feel like it's just you and AJ, and he doesn't have any other clients. And that's the type of service he delivers. So then when an athlete just turns around and burns him and just leaves him, and it you can only he's coached for I think 25 years. So you can only get bit by the same dogs for so long before you're like, I'm not gonna pet those fucking dogs anymore, because they just keep biting me. But these dogs are really nice. They pay me. They pay me well because they're not broke,
Hmm.
and they treat me well. They respect me. They see me as an authority. They listen to what I'm saying. They do what I'm saying. That's where AJ's at now. He's that's why he wants to eventually get away from competitors, and he's already, I think, started to slim down. I mean, I know specific high level pros that he's turned away that went to him like, "Hey, will you prep me for the Olympia?" He's like, "Sorry, pal, not my thing." So, I mean, that's an incredible level to get to where you can turn down someone who has already won an Olympia. I'll just say that. And you
Hmm.
can look them in the eye and say, "Nah, I'm good. Love you, but no thanks."
Yeah.
Made me think this whole
Yeah.
podcast about AJ. I apologize.
No, it's fine. We didn't have a ton of like stuff to talk about anyway, so we might as well. I mean, like I
Well,
said,
actually, we have AJ right here. He's
yeah,
waiting.
here
Come
he
on in.
is. Bring him in. No, so like I said, long story short, incredible experience working with him. Um, and honestly, I'm like kind of mind blown to even be able to call him a friend because I didn't see that coming. And just like I've heard people say like they think I even thought AJ was full of shit when I first met him because I'm like, there's no way this guy is this nice and this caring. I thought it was an act. I dead ass serious. I told my wife, I'm like, there's no way that someone's this kind and caring. And sure as shit, dude, that never wavered over 2 years. It was consistently kindness, caringness, loving. And it's like, I'm like, fuck, dude, there's people out there that are just way, way better people than me. That's what I learned is like, this dude actually just pours into people and he cares so incredibly much. And uh, all the bodybuilding shit aside, that's the biggest thing I took away from him was just being better to other people and lifting them up and supporting them in a world in a sport where we often want to talk shit and bring people down and say, why does this guy do this way? And instead of just like, you know, wanting to see everyone get better like AJ does, I mean, we get caught up in I mean, we were just talking about bodybuilders that are way fucking better than us. And I'm like, yeah, James's midsection's kind of weird. I'm like, who the fuck am I, dude? So that's one thing. That's the biggest thing I learned from him is just relearning kindness, honestly. So anyways, incredibly grateful for him. Hopefully, this is a good advertisement for his
Yeah.
services.
I think
Anyway,
sometimes people that are like that that have that genuine kindness and stuff, I feel like it has to do with something that they've experienced in their life. Maybe it's happened to them before, and it's like you don't like that feeling, and you don't want others to feel that same way.
that's what it
So,
is.
why would I want that to happen? So you're trying to like end that cycle. It's like what
Yeah,
some of the people do who are raised by bad families, and they're like, okay, I need to get away from this environment, and I need to do the opposite. And
that's
and to
what it
them, it
is.
kind of comes
Yeah.
easy, like it's burdened in them. So it's like, man, this is like my mission.
Most of the time, the kindest people, at least in my experience, the people that are the most kind have seen the most adversity, they have felt the most trauma, and they have gone through the most shit. Um, and you either turn into a very miserable person or a very, very good person. It's either make or break when you experience high adversity, high trauma, um, and all those nasty things that can happen to people, right? Um,
Yeah.
like look at Nick Walker and his story. I mean, he turned it out to be a great person and a highly motivated person because of his adversities in the past. And I mean, there's millions and millions of examples, but
Yeah. Yeah, I think going back to like the how people they just like they criticize on things they don't understand. I think a big example of that is the diets that we follow. Like
Yeah.
is it a tool or is it a religion? And a lot of people a lot of people have it as a religion. Like they'll crap on the keto diet or carb cycling or the
Yeah.
sugar diet or all these things. And it's like it's a tool, some of the concepts they don't make much sense if you're doing it at this particular time, but maybe if you do it during this time, it might make sense if you actually give it effort and
Yeah.
discipline and you follow it for a certain period of time, you'll find that it can work out and it
Just
can benefit you.
and I'm guilty of that shit. Like I'll hear the new fad coming through and I'm like, "Oh, here we fucking go again."
Yeah, except for
And
really stupid ones. I disregard
yeah,
that.
but
Like
still
the
even
HCG diet. Don't.
but even if you zoom in on it, as experienced individuals, you can say, "Okay, I get the concept. I get the mechanism that they're trying to pitch. I understand why it could work." Um, and we all know that the answer ends up being somewhere in the middle of what's going to be best for everyone. It's normally a collection of all the ideas just melted down into something that's going to fit you best and that you can adhere to best. Um, even with training, like, oh, don't ever do drop sets, don't ever do rest pause, don't ever do any intensity that's junk volume. It's like, yeah, but what if you just do a little bit sometimes? What if you use a rest pause set just for 4 weeks and then you go back to 5 to 8 reps, whatever science-based stuff. And well, what if you're cyclic? Because not everything just works forever and things work in phases. And when something is working, you ride that wave until it stops working and then you go on to the next thing. Nothing works forever. Nothing
Yeah.
works forever besides consistency, right? So whatever you're doing at that time, as long as you believe in it and you're consistent with it, it's going to work. Whether that's keto diet, whether that's the sugar diet. I mean, a lot of people actually got some results from the sugar diet. It's pretty fucking dead now. Um, but
I'm
for
guilty for shitting on that one quite a
me too.
lot.
Me too. That's why I use it as an example
Well,
because I've opened.
it's the claims that they were doing. The claims were like ridiculous versus it's a tool for maybe you can use it during this time. Like that's I don't like how they like advertised it.
Well, here's the thing. The guys that were using it successfully were already in great shape. They were they were
Yeah.
they were already good athletes. They were already highly adherent men who trained very hard. And it's like, man, you could probably eat the fucking McDonald's diet for a month and you'd do fine too, you know? So,
Yeah.
And
I
also,
mean, the owner
they
of
ate.
AD Project is like already peeled. So of
yeah,
course his peanut butter freaking has no calories or whatever.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
And also, like
Supposedly.
those guys who are doing it and getting success. Like, I mean, I know Chase had good success. AJ Binley had great success and everything, but they also were eating mainly fruit, maybe some natural sugar, so some honey or some cane sugar. Their entire diet wasn't Sour Patch Kids and jelly
No.
beans.
No.
And that's why a
Well,
lot of people's like, "Ooh, I can eat as much candy as I want, as long as I
the
don't have anything else with it. I won't get fat."
the funny thing is, like, I lost clients over that diet because they're like, Tommy, I'm thinking about running the sugar diet. I said, cool, go do it. Well, are you going to help me do it? I said, no. Well, why not? Because I don't believe in it. And I'm not going to run something like that. If a client comes to me like, hey, Tommy, I want to try Anadrol. I'm like, cool, let's do it. If you're comfortable with it, you know the side effects, you know the possible things that could happen. I'm open to it. I'm open to most things. When someone comes to me with something that I know is just an excuse to eat fucking sugar, because I know this athlete already, they've been working with me for X amount of time, and they already have a history of binging. I'm like, oh, so you found this secret diet where now you have an excuse to eat bullshit. Not happening, dude. If you want to do it on your own time. I'm not being associated with it, and maybe that's me being a dick, but if something is so incredibly ridiculous, I think I told you guys, I don't know if I did or not. I had a client come to me. He wanted to run 3,000 milligrams of equipoise
Oh,
with estradiol and
oh,
didn't want to take testosterone. I said, respectfully, I don't think we should do that. And he said, well, this is what I'm going to want to do, but I really respect your diet knowledge and your training knowledge. But I want to run my own gear this way. I said, man, I can't do it. I can't
oh.
do it. I'm sorry. Um, if someone, I've had guys come to me, tell me I want to experiment with, 18 IUs of growth hormone. Let's fucking do it. If you can afford it, cool. Let's see what happens. But when someone comes to me with like something I just cannot get behind, I cannot get behind 3,000 milligrams of equipoise a week with estradiol, using estradiol instead of just like taking, I don't know, that thing testosterone that we all love so dearly and works really well. Something so far outside the box I cannot do. When someone comes to me and says, I want to run 18 IUs of Serostim, I'm like, man, I've seen that work. I've seen that work with my own eyes. So yeah, let's
I'm
try it, you know?
I'm all for like I'll tell people who like want me like ask me for advice and want me to try coaching. I'm like, hey, like I'll do whatever aspects you want to do. I'll advise on the cycle. I'll do the diet. I'll do the training. But also, I want to make it very clear, like, hey, these are the realms that I'm doing. So if you're doing your own cycle, then I would like to know what it is.
You have to.
But
You have to
I'm
be
not going to be there in person watching you do every shot. I don't know exactly what it is.
you have to at least know what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of my guys, I have them do their own training, or I recommend like a John Meadows program because then Um, unless you're a lazy piece of shit, you cannot not train hard if you're doing a John Meadows program and you're doing it how it's written. Those programs are written to be very hard. And if you're doing it the way it's written and in detail with intensity, I know then I'm like, okay, I know that athlete's training hard if they're running this program. If they send me some footage, I'm like, cool, we're good. You guys can do your training. Um, if someone's like, hey, I know what gear works for me, I'm just going to run the cycles that I'm used to and that I know work, cool, but you still need to list it so I can see it. Because if it's 3,000 milligrams of equipoise and whatever it was, like I think he said like a milligram of estradiol a week or something. I don't know what it was. I'm gonna jump out my fucking window because I can't get behind that.
I do it.
You would do that?
I'll be your guinea pig.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, man, I'm just like, I
I'm
don't
just going
know.
to put the Timonel oil all on my glutes. Just
Yeah,
have a
there you
nice
go.
Brazilian butt lift.
Yeah, that's how they
All the
do it.
only possible reason I could think why they'd want to do that
Don't
is
say
they're a
anything.
pussy worried about hair.
It was
I
about,
fucking knew it.
and that's the other thing. Guys will ask me like, is this cycle hair safe? I'm like, brother, I'm bald as fuck, dude. I'm like, I'm just being honest. Like, the extent that I know about hair loss is topicals are going to be a better route to go, in my opinion. So
Listen, it's all
I want to keep
genetic.
hair talk to Andrew.
I've run so much
it
DHT.
is, it's genetic,
It's
bro.
I just have gray hair on the sides.
I,
Like,
s- I
you
started
know,
taking TRT and my hair started falling out. It's
and
not because I loved Mastron and Primo and I ran them very high. I literally started losing my hair on 150 milligrams of testosterone. And that's just the cards I was given. It's why I got a big fucking nose too. It doesn't, it's not the growth hormone. It doesn't help, but you know,
no, I mean, it's just like, yeah, the amount of master on that I've run and
yeah,
I've never seen hair shed on myself. Like it just doesn't. So, nor have I grown any extra hair, like darker hair or thicker hair
sure.
from running test.
Yeah.
So, and trend. So it's like, I don't see where people are talking about this. Like, why is your hair your identity? Like, that's really weird, in my opinion, especially if you just have short hair. I can understand if you're like, I get paid $500,000 a year for
Yeah.
modeling with shampoo commercials.
Yeah, or
Okay.
you're an
Yeah.
actor or an actress, and like that's very important to
Yeah.
your looks. And half the time I tell people, I'm like, and it's a joke. Of course, it's a fucking joke. Apparently, I have to say that. I'm like, bro, you're already fucking ugly and you're married. If you're bald, your wife is still gonna fuck you. So like, get over it, dude. Get over it. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
if that's what's gonna happen, then don't take any gear. That's the other thing. If you take gear and your blood pressure goes up a little bit and you are just freaking the fuck out, just don't take steroids then because all of this shit is accompanied by taking steroids. And you're signing up for this. You're not just signing up for big juicy muscles. Like other shit comes with this, right? If you see your liver enzymes a little elevated on your blood work and you are just freaking the fuck out, it's like, bro, you wanted so badly to run the Anavar or the Anadrol, and you didn't know this was going to happen. You didn't know your HDL could drop into single digits. This is the shit we sign up for when we stick the needle in our ass or when we take the orals, and it's what happens. You need to know that before you even use the shit.
It's like, dude, if you go and you buy a house, you're not going to be like
Yes,
surprised that you have to pay for mortgage, your utilities, your
bro.
CCV, your HOA. Like, don't be surprised at all that. Like, it all comes with what you're doing.
If you drive your car fast and you get a speeding ticket, whose problem is that? Are you going to be mad at the officer? You could have been driving the car safely, but you're still exceeding the limit that is posted, right? And you get that speeding ticket because you earned it. You earned it. You earned that bald ass head, right? Because
I,
you
yeah.
chose to take the shit, dude.
I mean, you may not be like, oh, I'm speeding because I want to get a speeding ticket,
Yeah, no
but
one
you know, like,
does.
hey, I want to go faster. So therefore, if someone pulls me over, that's a consequence of me doing that.
I did not
They go hand in hand.
I did not want to lose my hair. I did not want to lose my hair. When I was young, I had great hair. I was known for my hair. It was nice, right? I had long skateboarding hair, very straight. It was a cool color. I always got compliments on my hair.
Tommy
And when,
long locks.
bro, it was long shit. I'll have to show you guys a picture. And it was cool. Like I was a 90s kid, dude. Long hair, skateboarding, and smoking weed was like what we did.
Nirvana.
And yeah, exactly. And when I started taking TRT, the hair started falling out. So I said, fuck it, I shaved it. Yeah, I cut it short. And then my dad got cancer and lost his hair. He had to shave his head. So I said, fuck it, I'm gonna shave my hair too, right? And my dad's like, Dylan, now we're all gonna be fucking ugly. And that was the reason that I like shaved it completely bald. And then it just never really came back well. And so after that, I just continue to keep it shaved. You know what I mean? But
Yeah,
I
I've shaved
did,
my head too, and
yeah.
mine grew back. So
Oh,
again, it's
thanks. Thanks,
genetics.
Dick.
It's genetics. You know what I mean? Like I'm just it just comes down to like I don't get any of the adverse side effects from drugs.
Right.
Like if I ramp it up super high, then I'll
Yeah.
get like I don't get the anxiety or whatever neurotoxicity from trend. I just get the night sweats or like just the
Yeah.
sweating in general, the smelling of ammonium and stuff. But like, but that sucks for me because then I have to use higher loads to actually
Yeah.
have some sort
You,
of result.
you don't get the good effects either. You know
Yeah,
what I
so I'm
mean?
like, dude, I just get I had to have more lumps with more volume to actually
Yeah.
start seeing things, or I had to get a really big pip because I had to like
Yes.
just have such a high amount per ml.
I handle gear pretty well. The only one I don't do well with is NPP and DECA. It just
Love
causes
that
me,
stuff.
yeah, I know you do good with it, but like um I just have history of anxiety, depression, etc. So I do think it emphasizes that in people that do have a history of things like that. At least that's what I've seen with many, many clients. But like test equipoise, I can even run trenbolone pretty high and do okay with it. I feel better when I come off it. I'll tell you that much. But
I feel great. Thank you very much.
yeah, no, I do feel fine running tren. But I know that when it's gone, when I remove it, I'm like, huh, maybe I was kind of wound up for a few months there. You just,
Every morning I wake up like I feel great, but then little things make me a little bit angry. I was like,
yeah.
I bet that's the trend working there. I don't want to just blame the drug for being angry, but I know I'm
No.
more irritable because of it.
Yeah, you
It's
can
how
tell
someone
it.
loads the dishwasher. You're like, that spoon doesn't go
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Exactly. Why would she put that there? Why would she put that there?
This is for plates,
Why
not for
did she make the
bowls.
sheets come off my corner of the bed?
Right, right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You load the dishwasher from the back to the front. Oh well. Yeah, it's
And
little shit
heaven
like that.
forbid if you only load like the front basket of the silverware because you don't want to fully open it.
Yes. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. We could talk about all this. You know what else is funny? When I run Trenbolone, um, like the weirdest things will irk me. Like if I'm trying to be quiet, like if I have to wake up in the middle of the night to take a piss and I'm trying to be quiet and I drop the toilet seat, I'm just like, motherfucker. Like it just
Yep.
pisses me off so much. Like I was trying to be quiet and of course, like I dropped apparently it's the loudest fucking toilet seat in the world all of a sudden, or you drop something, you go to pick it up and you don't pick it up, you miss it, and you go to pick it up again, you miss it. It's like, holy fucking, just like it's the most random shit that gets me mad. Um, when I use trend, but like, I mean, someone could cut me off in traffic and I wouldn't react the same as to all this like little stuff that pisses me off. It's kind of funny actually.
I don't need a trend to do that. But like that's just my OCD like runs it. Like we have a junk drawer and I'm just like every time I open it to get scissors, I'm like, ugh, just
Yeah.
freaking I want to throw it
Uh-huh.
away.
Yep. Yep.
I mean, kind of actually that leads into one of the questions that I got.
Okay.
What are some of your guys' top bodybuilding pet peeves? One
Oh
of
my
my ones
God.
that should not make me angry, but it does every time is when someone does a before and after, and the after is on the left. Before always on the left, and after should always be on the right.
Someone did that in the forum the other day. I'm like, man, you used to be in really fucking good shape.
I saw that.
That one gets me. That one gets
And
me for sure.
I don't want to be able to ask what a comment like, hey, nice work, but fix the picture.
You have to
But
though. You
it
have
makes
to.
me angry every time.
Yeah. Um, Man, this is a terrible question because like we all have them and it just corners us to make us look like assholes.
Yep.
Um, I'm gonna let Andrew go first.
um, well, this is I don't know if it's like just bodybuilding, but it's like gym related. When people don't put the plates correct, like when they put like a five, a 25, a five, 10,
Yep.
Fuck
I
me, dude.
go insane. And like, really, or like when they misplace a dumbbell and it's not in the correct order, like, how
Dude.
lazy and dumb are you? Like, it's just like, I know their house is a mess, their life is a mess. Like, I just start judging them
Yeah,
intensely.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, like, oh, you're just a
Yeah.
fucking slob in general, aren't you? You
Yeah.
know?
Okay,
Yeah.
then Andrew, would you rather someone leave their weights on a machine or take them off but put them back wrong?
I'd
I'd
rather
rather,
them, yeah,
yes, just
leave them
leave
on
them
there.
on the,
I'll take them off
yes.
and I'll put them back.
Yeah, I'll do it
I think
right for you.
if I could, I would pay someone at the gym to go around and
Ooh,
just
we get
you
pop-up
know,
emojis now.
okay. I get that thing down. Um, I would pay someone to go around and just do that. I would be
Yeah,
like, dude, here's $100. Just freaking clean it up for me while I'm here.
yeah. Yeah, it's like not putting your shopping cart away, right? When people
Yeah.
leave it in the middle of the parking lot, I'm like, holy fucking shit, dude. That's the laziest thing I can think of in this world is to not
Forget
return a shopping
who.
cart.
I think it may have been Eric. It was some big, scary-looking guy who was posting on Instagram that he would go around the shopping, the entire parking lot, and then if someone left their car, he would put it right behind their car,
Uh,
knock on the door, and say, "Hey,
that's
put your card away."
That's
that's
so
can
funny.
was that guy's
I thought
Konetsky?
it may have been
Yeah.
Kanevsky.
Yeah. Yeah, probably. I could see him doing that.
And I
Bodybuilding.
think that's public service right there.
Yeah. Bodybuilding pet peeves for me are, um, man, the one, I guess one that I can think of is people crediting the wrong thing for the wrong job. Um, like they'll add like, man, I don't know how to give an example because I don't want to call anyone out. Um, let's say they start using a new pre-workout. Whatever, I'm gonna go with it. Let's say they start using a new pre-workout supplement and it was very expensive. It was like $70, for example. And they're like, but they started using Humalog pre-workout the same week. And they're like, bro, you need to try this fucking pre-workout. I had insane pumps. And I'm
Or
like,
even like the other way around, where like they'll add in cleanse but also change their diet. Like, oh, this cleanse getting me peeled. Like, no, it's because
yes,
you removed 200 grams of carbs from your diet.
yes. So things like that really get me because they pay credit to the wrong things. And
Mm,
it's like, no, this thing worked. And you're crediting this silly thing because it's shiny and it's new and you paid $70 for it when you got a $20 pen of Humalog from India. And that's the thing doing all the shit.
21, thank you very much.
Oh, sorry, shipping. It's, it's like that's that's what you paid credit to? This $70 stupid fucking pre-workout you bought when you just added 8 units of Humalog pre-workout. And in your mind, you're like, oh, this fucking pre-workout is just doing it, dude. It's doing it all. Um, or, it's like, or they'll credit a specific drug. Let's say they start a cycle. Let's say it's 600 tests and 400 equipoise or something. And they're like, man, this EQ is like just making me fucking strong and full as a house. I'm like, brother, you just went from 150 milligrams of TRT to 1,000 milligrams of anabolics. I don't care what the fuck it was. It's probably just the testosterone, but it's like, no, it's this EQ, man. This is my first time running it, and I can tell it's the game changer. And I'm like, bro, it's not, I promise, but run with it. Placebo yourself to death. I don't give a fuck. If it makes you better, ride with that shit. I'm okay with a good placebo. It's fine. Because if it gets you results, I had someone sell me fake D-ball when I was a kid, and I blew the fuck up, dude.
Yep.
I blew the
Yep.
fuck up, and I wasn't on any D-ball, dude. He told me. He told me it wasn't D-ball. And it's like, dude, my pumps were insane. I promise you guys. And people were noticing. They're like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm running D-ball, And it's like, not the thing. And then the first time I ran D-ball, I'm like, God damn it, this shit's awesome. I'm
Well,
like,
And
that
like,
would be like people now getting Anavar while they're cutting, but it's actually
yeah,
D-ball. And then
yeah,
they're like,
yeah,
this Anavar is giving me cut, but it's their diet. And but like, it's
yeah.
giving me great pumps too.
Yeah, and then you remove it and they get even drier and harder. It's like, oh wait, Anavar made me watery. It's like, oh God. So that one gets me, just like crediting the wrong thing all the time. Man, I increased my Masteron and I just feel fucking insane. It's like, dude, you just took a week vacation with your wife and you just came back with your cortisol low as fuck because you and your wife just whatever. You had a good time for a week and you went out to dinner, shared laughs and you shared good moments and memories and you came back ready to kill the gym, dude. It had nothing to do with anything else. It was literally just a lifestyle shift and a refresher. That's where the credit needs to be due, and they'll pay it to something stupid every time.
in a similar but different vein, another pet peeve of mine, because I guess we're just ranting today, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I
Because
guess
it
we'll
said
go
I'm
I'm
on
with
good with
trend,
it.
I'm
that.
angry.
Yeah, it's we got a bunch of trend in here, so fucking send it.
Uh, Crediting their opposing coach for winning the show for them, or opposing coach like, oh, my client took first place, and they did like one posing session with
I
them.
got a better one than that, Joey, because
Oh,
that one fucking drives me nuts. But here's even better one. When opposing coach gives their opinion on either a drug protocol or a diet, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Do your stupid posing coaching and fuck off. Let the bodybuilding coach do the bodybuilding stuff. You want to do the posing stuff? Fine. If you make one fucking comment about the drug cycle or the diet, you are fucking stupid. You are dumb. You are absolutely stupid because it's not your place. It's not your place. And here is how you respond to an athlete that has a coach. Tommy, what do you think about this? You have a coach, right? You're working with X, Y, and Z? Yeah, I'm still with him. Get the fuck out of here, dude. Go talk to them. I don't think anything about it. I don't think
But
anything about it. I don't even
in
see this
general, when people
conversation.
kind of do like, oh, my coach has me doing XYZ. What do you think of that?
We see it in the form.
It makes me
Yeah,
There's
so.
why are you paying the
You want
coach?
me to just shit talk your coach? Is that
the
what you want
all
me to do?
the answer is for anyone watching this, if this ever happens to you, my coach has me doing this. What do you think? This is the answer. This is the automated response. Talk to your coach about it. Ask your coach about it. Listen to your coach. Those three are acceptable. Anything else, fuck off. You suck. You're absolute shit. If someone came to me and they said, my coach is doing this, and I said, oh man, you should fire your coach and hire me, that's a piece of shit person. That's a
Mhm.
piece of shit person. Instead, the automated response is listen to your coach. If you do no longer trust your coach, leave them. That's it. Full stop. Because I've had situations where people have DM'd me, Tommy, here's what my coach has me doing for peak week. I'm like, okay, what do you think about it? I don't think anything about it. Well, what do you mean, bro? Like, does this look normal? Bro, I don't know what normal is to you because I don't fucking know you. I don't know how we got here. I don't know where this peak week came from. The coach knows best because they know your history. They know how they got to where they are.
Mhm.
So if you walk into a finished home and you're like, man, this home looks great, or this home looks like shit, you should have saw the home before you got here, Joey. You should have saw the home before you got here. Man, this house looks like garbage. Yeah, well, before it wasn't even fucking standing because there was a fire in it. And now the home is livable and it has running water and it doesn't smell like dead animals anymore. So, how a coach got somewhere, that is what the plan is supposed to be. You can't just look at where the plan is now and say, oh, that's stupid. Because it might look stupid singled out on paper alone, just the peak week. I've had people send me them. What do you think about my peak week? No fucking idea. No idea, because I don't know where your prep started. I don't know how fucking fat you were. I don't know how many times you missed your plan. I don't know how many times you did this. I don't know how many times you had to do this. Is this your first time competing? I don't know anything, dude. You're showing me a piece of paper that says X, Y, and Z. If you trust your coach, they came up with that plan for a reason. And if they just sent you a copy and paste plan, that's your thing to figure out, not mine. And I don't fucking care. I will never, ever step on another professional's toes because that is scumbag ass shit. It
Yeah.
really is.
Yeah,
It's
like along
your
that same line, it's if you're a coach or whatever, stay in your scope of practice.
Yes.
Like I really do get annoyed whenever coming from like the medical background in like orthopedics, whenever a coach is like, "Oh, like let me see your X-ray or MRI," and they try to diagnose it, and I'm like,
No,
"This is not what you should be doing." Like
no.
I can do it, but I'm not going to give you a legit diagnosis. I'm going to send you to a orthopedics, but I'm not going to look at someone's freaking CT arthrogram to like
Bro,
whenever a cardiovascular professional needs to be looking at it and give you a legit diagnosis. Like dude, I
you,
cannot stand that. Like just
people,
get your results, come back to me, and then we can
yes.
work with the doctor.
I've had people send me their echocardiograms. And I'm like, well, your ejection fraction's good and everything else is fucking Chinese to me. I have no idea, bro. I
Yeah.
have no idea. You know what I mean?
It,
I can read the, the left ventricle and the ejection fraction. Those are the only things that I can understand on this piece of 8 pages that you sent me. Everything else is for your doctor's eyes, and I don't fucking know. I do
Yeah, like
not know.
when if a coach is like if he has an answer for everything and just I can't stand that. Like dude, you have to have a limit on something. Like we
It's
all do.
okay to say, I don't know.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
will try to find you an answer through my resources, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
I've sent people to other coaches. I was like, hey, reach out. I'm like, hey, reach out to Austin Stout and let's see if you can if he has open spaces. But he's gonna help you with your gut protocol because what I've tried didn't work. And whatever you're coming back with a diagnosis, I don't know. Him or Tuttle, do whatever. But I'm not your guy.
Well, it's even posing coaches. Like guys will come to me. A lot of my men's physique guys, they're like, "Hey, can you help me with posing?" I'm like, "Fuck no, dude." I'm like, "Love you to death, but here's my buddy Devin. He's a pro." Or here's Kenny Wallach, or here's X, Y, and Z, grass fed, whatever, right? Go talk to him. I don't know, dude. I don't know. But if that motherfucker says anything about my diet, I'm gonna go to his house and break his fucking legs, right? Um,
I
so
mean, I like even just like banning my check-ins to like, hey, you're posting shit, go fix it. He doesn't say how to fix it. He's like, hey, here's someone, this needs to get fixed.
yeah, I'll give guys like 101 stuff. Like,
Hmm.
if they're just doing something really stupid, I'm like, that's wrong. Like, try this, this, and this, and it should look better, right?
Hmm.
And then if someone comes to me just so bad, and I'm just like, you need to hire a professional to do that. Because I am not a professional posing coach. I'm okay enough to get you on stage to not look like an idiot. But if you want your posing to be perfect for you, that requires a lot of time and energy, and someone else needs to have eyes on you for that. And sometimes that's true for training. You have guys like Mike Condell, who's very good at programming training, and you have Danny Labrentina. That's why she does my training because whoever's doing my diet at the time, when I'm working with AJ, Danny still does my training. And it's because I want AJ just to focus on the diet, supplements, and it's not because he doesn't know about training, because he's very good with his training. I actually quite like his programs. They're very like John Meadow-esque, and he has like some of Milos's stuff, some of Hani's stuff. He's around the same age as me. He's a little older, but we grew up with the same guys, so our influences are very similar. So like I love his training, but Danny has a doctorate in PT. So if I'm gonna fucking blow something off the bone, she's watching me every week. She's like, bro, I see this happening and I see it getting worse and I see it getting worse. Okay, we need to fix this before I fucking wreck myself, right? AJ doesn't see that. You know what I mean? So it's like, that's kind of what I mean by sometimes you need another professional as long as they stay in their lane.
Yeah. Any more
What
pet
else you
peeves?
got?
Okay,
Uh,
here's one. I don't know if this is just I feel like this is just bodybuilders to a certain extent. When you're on so much drugs, you start to get that weird smell, sweat.
That's
Don't
me, right?
cover
That's
it
me
up.
right now.
Don't cover it up with like tons of cologne though.
Oh
Like
God,
I
please
mean
don't.
they douse it everything. Like I cannot stand that,
Just
especially
fucking
at
stink, dude. You might as well
especially
just
at
stink. Yeah.
expos and the gym. I'm like, just freaking take a shower, come here. I don't know, but like, don't come in here smelling like some freaking perfume shop. Like it's bad. To where like I've been rubbed up against like trying to get to my seat and stuff, and then like I smelled them the entire time. And my wife is like, "You have cologne on?" And I'm like, "No, I was sitting next to a guy."
My God, that's
I just
terrible.
smell like metal and fish.
Yeah, shit.
Yeah,
Well, I remember
dude.
my first the first guy that like took me under his wing and mentored me, besides my friend Matt, there was this local guy. His name was Brian, and this dude ran so much gear. He ran so much gear, and I didn't even know until I look back at it now. And he would tell me some of the shit. I had no idea about anything, right? I was 15.
Mhm.
And now I think back to like the stories he was telling me. I'm like, holy shit. But I remember this guy just had this unique smell to him. Like every time I would train with him, I'm like, what the fuck is that? And now knowing, I'm like, he smelled like glycol all the time. Like it was just seeping through his pores. Now, when I use some Tesno ester, whatever, injectable anadrol, whatever the fuck, I'm like, oh, this dude was slamming this shit. This dude was absolutely slamming. No wonder his face was this big all the time and he was purple, you know? But yeah, I'd prefer that he just smell like poison than trying to cover it up with a bunch of cologne.
Yeah, like if I smell that, I'm like, I'll just give you a head nod because I know what's
Yeah,
up.
you know what's up. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. You smell like a meth
Uh,
lab.
yeah. Another one, I can't. Now I'm like starting to think.
Yeah. What the fuck, Joe?
Whenever you're so committed to like one type of rice, like bro, but
Yeah. Yeah.
Jasmine is not your saving grace. Like, I'm sorry. Like, just get the rice. Like, what does Tuttle say? He's like, guy, just eat the rice. Like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, Tuttle's
It's
funny as
bad
shit.
that I hate basmati, and
Yeah.
I am the guy who likes his jasmine sushi rice.
It's okay, but you're not
Yeah,
claiming
to have a
that.
preference, that's fine. But like to be like,
Yeah.
hey, I have to have this rice, or else like
Oh
I
no,
don't digest it well. And I'm like, what?
it's
Like
rice.
it's white
Well,
rice. Like
the,
it's white
and
rice.
and I think the biggest pet peeve that we can all agree on is just assuming that something is new or magical or revolutionary or the game changer. If someone
Yeah.
uses the phrase game changer one more time, I'm gonna lose my fucking mind, dude.
That
Because
golden
Did you watch
rice
the Game
is
Changers
a game changer.
documentary?
yeah, I did. Well, it's like when when you are using the phrase, and I'm sure I'm guilty of using it before. I'm sure I am. But if you're using the phrase game changer, it means you're looking for secrets and you think that there's something out there more than just being consistent over time. And people hate to hear this, especially the young guys, because they think they're going to turn pro tomorrow. They think this is the year where they're just going to blow the fuck up. And maybe it's true. Maybe they're going to have a great year, and that's awesome. But there's nothing revolutionary besides checking the fucking boring ass, monotonous boxes that bodybuilders do day in and day out for years and years and years and years. Just nonstop
Mm.
checking the
You know what?
boxes
This is going to
every
be my
fucking.
title.
Oh
Game
God.
changing device.
And I've said it a million times. It's probably going to be written on my headstone or when I die, whatever the fuck they do with my body. Um, Hopefully, someone mentions it at my funeral that th
It
there's
was a
just
game changer in the coaching space.
there's just no game changers, man. There's no game changers. It's just doing the bodybuilding shit, doing it very well at a high level with intensity, intention, and consistency, and just doing it for a long time because you love to do it. And if you don't love to do it, don't fucking do it. No one's
Hmm.
forcing you to. Just because it looks sexy online doesn't mean you have to do it. You know? But if you really enjoy all the silly shit that comes with bodybuilding, like most people do, then just stick with it and stop looking for secrets and instead start trying to make what you're doing better. You can make your training better. You can make your diet better. You can make better choices when it comes to using gear. You can get blood work more frequently. You can take rest when you need to instead of just running yourself into the ground. There's just so many more things we can optimize instead of looking for the new type of insulin or adding in Increlex or running your growth hormone to fucking 30 IUs a week. Like all this stuff where
Like nothing.
but my biggest
I
pet
know.
peeve,
I'm joking.
no, not you. I don't care what you do.
But
You're
you said
beautiful.
30 IU a week. It's like
Oh,
four a
not
day.
a day, sorry. Um, but the thing is, it's just if you think that you're creating something new, your ego is so incredibly big that I don't even know how to explain that. If you think the people that have been bodybuilding for decades and decades and decades have not tried the shit that you're thinking of right now, You don't think anyone's run fucking 20, 30, 40 IUs of growth hormone today? Of course they have. The ones it worked for were the guys that were genetic freaks anyways, where they were gonna fucking end up big no matter what they did.
Mhm.
So it's yeah, and that's not anything against high growth hormone because Joey and I love high growth hormone. I don't
Dude,
I don't
love
know
me
what
some
Andrew
growth.
feels, but we like growth hormone. Um,
Other
but we
people, that's fine. I personally don't use high growth hormone,
well we
but
don't claim it's a game changer.
yeah,
No,
yeah.
you can get huge
No,
without it. It's not going
Yes.
to transform someone's physique from 160 pounds on stage and they take 4 IUs of growth hormone and they wake up at 240.
If you sucked before taking 10 IUs a day,
Yep.
you're just gonna suck after taking 10 IUs a day, just a little less and with a little more water retention. But you're
And a
still
lot
gonna
less
less
suck
money.
money.
in a little less money. Good job. And higher blood pressure and a higher resting heart rate. Maybe better sleep.
And now you
Uh,
got stressed because you're in financial debt.
and you can't feel your hands, so you can't find your wallet anyways. Um, but if you sucked before the magic trick, you're gonna suck after the magic trick until you just get better over time. And that's my old man advice for the youngins. Just keep doing what you're doing and just stick
Yeah.
to the shit, and don't try to change things all the time. Don't try to hop coaches every year, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Like I don't like it whenever bodybuilders when they're like like what's the phrase that they use? Like when they're like, all right, now I'm locked in or whatever. Like
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. I'm locked in now. Now
Yeah,
it's
like
go
I don't
time.
like that.
It's
Yeah.
46.3 weeks till prep starts.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm like,
Shit like
shouldn't
Gotta
you have been
lock
locked
in.
in during the off season? Like
it's a
you should
it's
have
a
never been not locked in.
it's a day-to-day process and the guys that really love it are just doing it in the background and I've credited Joe for this before. And he's one of the guys where he doesn't need to talk big. He doesn't need to talk his shit because the dude, whether social media exists or not, whether the fucking internet exists or not, I know Joey is slanging and banging in the gym. He's taking his gear, he's eating his food, and he's sleeping. And he's growing and he's getting better. It's how I look at Sean Clarita.
Mhm.
The world could disappear. Sean Clarita is still going to be bodybuilding. Every single person in the world could disappear and turn into zombies. There could be a zombie apocalypse. Sean wouldn't even know. And Joey probably wouldn't even know. They would be slanging and banging weights and eating their food. They'd probably be eating people because the grocery stores would be empty. They don't care. They're just like, whatever. I got enough gear to last me 12, 15 decades anyways.
Like
Maybe.
I'm not, I'm not actively bodybuilding, but it's so in my blood now that it doesn't matter if we're going on vacation. I'm always planning how am I going to train and when am I going to
Yes.
train? I'm really not thinking about bringing gear with me. It's
No.
literally just about the training and then I can make the food work. I'm also
I don't
thinking like if we move out to like if we have our dream house built, I'm like, but
Where's
it's
the
away
closest
from the
gym?
city.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, do I have to build my gym or like where's the
Yes.
closest gym? Like that's all I really care about. And it's like I have to get the training in and but like
I've
everything
moved
else,
twice in the past few years just to be closer to the gym that I'm going to at that time.
Yes. I've changed
yeah.
jobs. I've done all sorts of shit to make my life more optimal for bodybuilding purposes. That's when you love the shit, it becomes one of your top five priorities. And if you can only pick five priorities, man, that is a high level of, acknowledgement. Because if yourself is already a priority, your partner, your family, you can maybe couple those together, being financially stable, your health, like only picking five priorities and you make bodybuilding one of them, you better be real fucking serious. Maybe it's your top 30 for most people, but if it's in your top five, that's crazy shit. That's
Yeah.
absolutely crazy shit. Because
Like
if you,
I don't even care about going to the Dallas Pro. I just care about getting an excuse to go to Dallas, to go to Destination Gym. Like
yeah, yeah.
I'm like, I'll go, but I really just want to like, how often can I go to destination while I'm there?
Yeah, I think, and there's tons of good examples of what I was talking about where people are just living the lifestyle. They don't need to talk big. They don't need to post about it. Um, the Joseph Purchase one, where, he just prepped himself like secretly. And then he just popped up on stage one day and everyone's like, "What the fuck? You were in prep?" He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "I do it because I love this shit." And I'm like, "Man, that's fucking cool." He didn't need to post like, I'm 8 weeks out. I'm 7 weeks out. I'm 6 weeks out. I'm like, yeah, bro, we saw you fucking last week and we saw you the week before and we saw you the week. He didn't do any of that. He literally just posted stage photos. He's like, oh yeah, guys, I did a thing. I'm like, man, that is cool. That is cool shit. I thought that was really inspiring, honestly, because it brought me back to being an old, yeah, look at that shit.
He posted it correctly
Yeah,
before and
yeah,
after.
and you got to even give him credit for that for doing his fucking transformations correctly. But I just thought it was so cool that um, he didn't have to tell anyone because that tells me, man, he did it because he loves this shit. He didn't have to post about it, and he could have made tons of content about his contest prep. He could have taken advantage of all that, and instead, he's like, boom, here's my stage photos. Oh, yeah, I competed yesterday. I'm like, man, that is so fucking cool. I just like, I don't know. I would love to see that more, where guys just like, oh, guess what? I just won this overall. And they just post their stage photos and everyone's like, oh, I didn't know you're prepping. Like, I don't know, man. The, I just think it speaks volumes for how passionate people can be about something when they don't need to talk about it every fucking minute of the day, you know?
It's like they need a cheerleader to make them keep going. Like they need what's the word? Like they need
The
External
encouragement or
validation.
the
yeah,
validation.
validation.
Yes.
Yeah.
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 And that dude did not need any validation because he was validating himself and he was doing the shit out of true passion. Just like I always go back to Sean Clarita. Sean will fucking bodybuild until this world is over. And whether people know about it or not, I truly think he's one of the most passionate bodybuilders I've ever seen. And I can feel it when I watch him train. When I watch a video of Sean training, I'm just like, man, this dude really loves this shit. Like I can feel it in my heart. And I'm like, I just think that's so lost. And I think people want to feel that or they want to pretend like they do. Um, but when someone really has it, and like going back to watching Meadows train and watching Dave Tate and Meadows train together, and they wouldn't talk to each other. They would just fucking try to kill each other the whole time. Or even Johnny and Branch, right? Like that's another great example. Like those dudes, they don't care, dude. That is just real bodybuilding shit. Just true passion, like
Yeah.
in the blood, deep in the blood.
I like it whenever people do it and they're in the off season and they're like getting weight, like they're getting heavier, and then all of a sudden they're like, they don't even talk about it. You just like see them maybe a post or on Instagram or do a YouTube video, and you're like, why? In your head, you're like, why are they just getting fatter in the face?
Yeah.
But it
Yep.
literally sucks the same way.
It does.
Okay, here's another thing. I I don't like it whenever bodybuilders complain about the suck of prep and like
Yep.
they
Fuck,
make
man.
everybody else miserable because
Oh my
they have to
God.
prove how miserable they are. Like I'm more
No.
miserable than this person. I suffered more than this person. I can't stand that.
Mhm.
The reason my prep last year went so smooth is because I was just so happy to be prepping every day. I didn't care about AJ would take food away and I'd be like, fuck yeah, let's go. Like, let's dig. It would get me excited. He would change shit and I'd be like, yes. You know what I mean? And it was like, and that's been different in the past. I've been the guy where it's like, oh, I'm so tired. My feet are so heavy and I'm hungry. And it's like, then it just clicked with me because I don't know, maybe it's because I'm getting older and I'm like, fuck, dude, like I never know what's gonna happen. I could have a heart attack. I could fucking break my back squatting. Anything could happen that could take me out of the game. So nowadays when I train, man, I'm just like, and it sounds so fucking gay, but I'm just like so grateful that I get another day to exercise. I get another day to train hard and eat my boring fucking food and just live another day and do the shit I love. And that ended up being the best look I've put on stage to date. And it's because of that. I was not just like, oh, feeling sorry for yourself the whole time. Like, fuck me, dude. You literally signed up for the shit. You don't have to do it.
I think 2020 is what really kind of transformed that mindset for me because all the gyms were shut down. There were no competitions going on.
Mm,
Grocery stores were running out of everything. And it really made you like, hey, for the past 7 years, whatever that I've been lifting by that point,
yeah,
I was like, just going to work out, no big deal. But then I couldn't because I didn't have a home gym. So I couldn't work
man.
out for like 9 months straight. And when our college gym said like, you're allowed to have 3 1 hour sessions a week, you have to sign up for them in advance.
Oh,
You learn to
wow.
appreciate those sessions
That's interesting. That's interesting. I bet that was revolutionary for a lot of people.
for the ones
My
who stuck with it.
my
Other people, it was
jealous
an excuse to just drop off.
my lucky ass. I had a detached garage just full of gym equipment. People were offering me money to come train and shit. So I got away rather unscathed during that process. If anything, I made great progress because like I was just like it was just my private little gym. You know, my wife would train and my buddy and his wife would come over and we would just have the fucking time of our lives while everyone else is quarantined. We were still getting together and we weren't social distancing. We were fucking box squatting, you know? It was good shit, dude. You got
And I think, like,
one more question you want to do?
do you want a serious one or a more of a fun one?
We can do one of each probably if it's
Yeah.
quick.
We can do
Yeah,
a
I'm good.
serious one first and end off with a fun, positive one. Uh, what's both of your favorite ways to manage hematocrit
Hmm.
without, or for someone who's already well hydrated?
I would first, sorry, Andrew, if you want to go first, go ahead.
No, you're good.
Just for reference, I'm asking this on behalf of someone who I know
Do you
who
know,
is guzzling coconut
Th-
water all day and
so you know
like,
they're hydrated for sure?
oh, absolutely, yes, they drink
But
like 40
what's
something
high?
ounces before 68.
Okay, do they have a CPAP?
No,
They need one.
What was
no.
their previous hematocrit
That's
before
a
they
good
Like
started
question.
whatever that they're doing?
That's a good question.
And what
like
did
a
they start?
63 or 64, I think.
They
It's
need a,
always been high, even
where
on
do
like
they,
TRT
so
doses.
where do they live? And they definitely have sleep apnea. And those are the two things I would ask.
Because
Um,
I mean, they're up here in Minnesota, they go to my gym
okay.
and it's like they
They,
are always hydrating. They live the bodybuilding lifestyle. They eat all healthy foods. They
yeah.
limit
So
beef consumption. They
if
do
they're,
all the normal things for hematocrit,
if
just
they're, if
it's
they're
sky
doing,
high.
if they're doing the bodybuilding stuff, that means they probably have sleep apnea and they're not treating it. And obviously, you know this. They should probably be using nattokinase and maybe a baby aspirin as well, just to be cautious. But they need to get a CPAP like fucking 5 years ago, and that, in my opinion, is going to help correct that. One thing you can look at is their carbon dioxide on the blood work, and if that is over 28 or higher, that's normally a pretty good indication of sleep apnea, as well as high RBCs. And obviously, they're using gear, I'm sure, if they're doing the bodybuilding stuff. So elevation is going to come with that too. But yes, my mind just right away goes to sleep apnea.
And it comes also to like what's the MCP? What's the red blood cell count?
Yeah,
There's a lot of other factors that
MCV
could
and all
say,
that
hey, like
shit.
how healthy are your red blood cells? And are there a lot of platelets which could lead to a clot? But if you're giving blood and it's not that viscous, because I've seen very viscous blood to where it's like so slow and you're having to like sit there and pump and pump. But I've also seen people where they're in the 60s and they're totally fine, and they've been like that for a long period of time, for like the majority of their athletic life. But if all that's good, a CT arteriogram of the heart, if that's fine, the injection fraction is fine. But like it's just all these other red blood cell counts, like are they okay? Also, what are their other um um uh, CMP panels, right? Because like
Like the iron
uh,
and the saturation and
right, and the
yeah.
CBC, like, do you have an infection somewhere? Like, what, what are your total um, values of all these parameters
Yeah.
of your immune system? So that goes into account as well. Now, aside all that, and not touching hydration, I would say IP6 is a great one to use. And then
Yeah.
again, your omega threes, your fish oils, your nattokinase, pine bark. I mean,
Grape
Arjuna.
grapeseed extract, all that shit.
Yeah, I think IP6 will really move that needle, plus some magnesium. You might need to bump up your magnesium. Typically, we look for 10 milligrams per kilogram of elemental magnesium.
Hmm.
So if you're a 100 kilogram uh, athlete, then you have to have 1,000 milligrams of elemental magnesium, not magnesium glycinate 360. Like that's not like you need to take like 3 servings of that, not just like what's the total volume of the capsules, but what's the total magnesium amount.
Actual elemental. Yeah.
Yeah, and that one it doesn't really, it's just whatever absorbs the best for you. But yeah, the IP6 magnesium cofactors of like B vitamins and it's like P5P, R5P. So yeah,
Yeah, and depending on their iron, like I would probably not be doing a ton of red meats combined with vitamin C. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Again, we don't know their iron, but with hematocrit that high, it's like, I don't know, So, but yeah, that's a good point. Is like all the other the whole the rest of the panel is very determining of what to do next. Because if their
yeah,
iron is already low, I mean, adding IP6 could be worse, right? So, I
yeah.
mean, yeah, you got to be careful with like what their other counts are. But yeah, I think the first step for 90% of people is getting a CPAP. If you don't have one, I think the majority of people do, honestly.
Yeah, I don't go anywhere without my CPAP anymore.
Fuck
It's
no.
like it's the first thing I pack in my bag. Like,
Yeah, I don't take
not
it.
the first thing because I still need to use it the night before the flight. But
I will leave my wife at home before I leave home with my.
yep,
But yeah, no, it's a real thing. Using my CPAP consistently really changed my blood markers, and I've seen it happen with so many clients now that it's underrated.
Another thing, going back to that, like, does he have a lot of varicose veins?
nope.
Yeah. So I mean, you're at least in my opinion, you'd probably talk to the vascular surgeon, but you're in good hands. Like if you're not really, you're not in trouble if you're not showing signs of like a possible DVT, because
Yeah,
you usually have the varicose veins will try to map out a different route because
or
there's a
even
possible clot.
or even like resting heart rate or like
Yeah.
weird heart rate ranges, like where it randomly fucking spikes or something. That would be very
Yeah.
concerning.
Hmm.
Um, so that would be something to track too, is just what the heart is doing.
Oh, it's funny. Me and my wife, we have like the little pulse ox reader, and because she took a Selenk, or no,
Okay.
no, she took C-Max nasal spray, right? The one that I showed you. She had an adverse reaction, right? So she was like, so she has cluster headaches, and so I was talking to Mike, going back and forth, and I'm like, so it can technically help reduce migraines and cluster headaches during an episode. So what it made her, instead of getting that cognitive boost,
Oh
she got like
no.
it felt like low blood sugar, which she took an empty stomach, so she had like low blood sugar effects and dizziness and but her heart rate was fine, and like we're just trying to figure it out. Anyways,
Hmm.
that led me to wearing it to see what it would read on me. And then, like I think ours is broken, but like or like it just smashed my finger too much because just sitting there, it was showing I had like 180 something heart rate. And she was like, "What's
My
going on?"
God.
And I'm like, "Nothing." And then I'm like timing my heart, and I'm like, "This thing's totally off." But it
Yeah,
was like
yeah,
smack.
that's
So like
terrifying.
my finger was so far in there, I think, but I could feel it pulsing, and like I
Yeah.
couldn't get her pulse because I all I could feel was mine. And I'm like what the freak, man? Like my pulse is so heavy, and I'm just like, okay, I don't I don't know what's going on.
Oh God.
But yeah, funny.
You got
All right,
another
last
one,
question.
Joe, and then I'm gonna bounce.
A little fun one to end off.
Perfect.
As you kind of touched on this earlier, when you are moving where you're living, what are the top three things you have to have close by? The gym's going to be one for all of us.
Yeah.
What are two other things that have to be in the area for
Man, I would hate to have to travel a decent amount of time to a grocery store. And even if I get my groceries delivered, I would still not want to be far away from a grocery store.
you?
Um, and
Is there a
then
particular one?
well, in Illinois, we have what's called Woodman's, and Woodman's is just like an overall really fucking good store.
Mm,
They just have aisles and aisles of everything, like whatever condiment you ever want to find, whatever type of meat, you will find it at Woodman's. They have just like the coolest shit. It's definitely by far the best grocery store I've ever been to. So I'm lucky to have one of those like 10 minutes away. And then honestly, nowadays, I like being near a big highway. Like I want to be able to get downtown Chicago within a decent amount of time because I do spend a lot of time in the city now. So for me, I need to be close to a highway so I can get to the city in under an hour, you know. But the gym is I picked this home because it's closer to two really good gyms. And so that was one of my determining factors. And a bonus one would be since I have a child now, being in a good school district is important for me. So, that changes if you have kids or not. But now that's very important for us to be near family and school district that is good.
mm.
Yeah.
Andrew?
That was one of mine. That was, being like we're like just over a mile away from our elementary school and our middle school, so they
Yeah.
can walk. Um, and then like 2 miles or 3 miles to the high school. But oh, let's see, gym for sure. Unless our next house we're going to be building, so I'll have my own gym, so it doesn't really matter.
Mhm.
Access to a major road to get into the city. Um, grocery stores like an HEB would be nice, a very close one. Um, yeah, and then I guess like outside of that, I'm trying to think now. Like a good sushi place, like where I'm a
That's
regular,
awesome.
you
That's
know?
awesome. Yeah.
So
That's a
like they
good one.
know me because like we have one over here. It's called Keepers, and like we go there all the time, and they like custom our order for our kids, and it's
Mm.
just freaking perfect every time. So it's like they know us there. So that's great.
What you got?
As I mentioned, the gym's kind of for all of us. Having close
Yeah.
by
Yeah.
a gym with a solid community, not just good equipment, but like good people there who
Yeah.
train
Yeah,
hard.
Yeah.
yeah, not a Planet Fitness.
Yeah.
Gym,
Or
highway,
crunch.
and sushi.
I was gonna go with gym, a Costco because Costco has
Yeah, I
everything.
got one of those too, really close. That's a good call.
And I need to be by somewhere that has a good, like at least a sidewalk for a walking path.
Oh,
Just
that's a
kind of
good
looping
idea.
back to the beginning because I need to be able to just walk outside and do something. If
Yeah.
I'm directly on a highway with no sidewalk around me, I don't want to just walk circles around my house.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It
Yeah.
doesn't need to be like a beautiful nature parkway. It just needs to be like a sidewalk where I can do like half a mile to a mile out and come back.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's a good point.
A gun range would be nice to have close by too.
That would be nice.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. All right, I gotta
All right,
take off.
that's it. All right, guys, that is it.
Appreciate you guys.
Made it this far. Leave some comments down with questions so that way we can answer them. And we've already gone over an extra 100 subscribers since the last video.
Oh,
So
nice.
awesome.
Hell
See,
yeah.
Tommy's just brings in the subscribers.
Yes.
Tommy and Mike, bringing them in.
Let's go. Hell yeah.
No one wants to listen to me.